Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a brutal truth. Fear is the only enemy that lives inside your head and still charges you rent. It doesn't knock. It doesn't ask permission. It just walks in, sits on your dreams, eats your confidence, and tells you, relax. We'll start tomorrow. And the craziest part? Most people listen. People think fear is harmless. They hide behind excuses like, I'm not scared, I'm just waiting for the right time. My situation is a little different. I'll start when I feel ready. My friend, nobody ever feels ready. Even your phone needs updates every 2 days. If your phone waited to feel ready, you'd still be stuck on Android 2.0. And here's the funniest part. People can binge watch a 12-episode Flick series in one night, but somehow they don't have time to start the thing that could change their life. They say, I'll start next week. Next week becomes next month. Next month becomes after the holidays. Then, after wedding season. And suddenly, it's been 3 years. The only things that have grown are their fear and their stomach. Because fear doesn't whisper. Fear speaks like a motivational speaker. What if you fail? What will people say? What if you start and then have to continue? What if aliens invade on your first day? Fear creates problems that don't even exist. Let me give you an example nobody talks about. Mr. Beast, people see him now, the massive videos, the insane budget, but when he started, he was filming in his bedroom with a mic that sounded like he recorded underwater. He didn't wait for perfect lighting, perfect gear, or perfect confidence. He just started. Meanwhile, some people are still waiting for the perfect ring light before recording their first sentence. Or take Virat Kohli, not the legend we know today, but the young, chubby kid who walked into the Indian team with 0 guarantees. He didn't know if he'd survive his first year, but he moved anyway. And that one decision changed cricket forever. Fear wants delay. Courage wants action. Fear says, what if it doesn't work? Reality says, what if it works better than you ever imagined? Let me give you a relatable story. I asked a guy once, why don't you apply for the job you want? He said, I don't have the perfect CV. What's wrong with it? I asked, there's a small typo. A typo? My friend, even your life has typos. You think a hiring manager will reject you because you wrote manger instead of manager? Fix it. Send it. But fear made him rewrite that CV for 6 months. By the time he applied, the company had changed the whole department. That's what fear costs you. Opportunities that had your name on them. Fear is not a feeling. Fear is a world-class storyteller. It takes a tiny idea and turns it into a Hollywood disaster movie in your mind. You try to take one small step, learn a skill, send an email, start a project, and fear jumps in. What if you fail? What if people laugh? What if everyone judges you? Everyone? People can't even remember where they kept their own keys. You think they're analyzing your entire life? Fear exaggerates everything. You make one tiny mistake, and fear says, congratulations. Your career is over. Relax. Most people don't even notice. Everyone is too busy fighting their own battles. I knew someone who wanted to launch an online business. He had the website, the product, the whole plan, but he didn't launch. Why? What if nobody buys on day one? Nobody wins on day one. Not athletes. Not entrepreneurs. Not creators. Day one is for starting, not succeeding. 3 months later, someone else launched the same idea and it blew up. Fear didn't just cost him money. It cost him his moment. This happens everywhere. People avoid the gym because they think others are watching them. Trust me, everyone in the gym is suffering through their own workout. Nobody has spare energy to judge you. People avoid speaking English because they fear mispronouncing a word. Even fluent speakers mess up words all the time. Mistakes aren't disasters. They are progress, just wearing a different outfit. And here's another truth. Fear gets loud right before your life is about to change. Right before a big decision. Fear becomes the expert in your mind. Think twice. Be realistic. Don't take risks. But have you noticed? Fear only advises you to stay exactly where you are. Fear hates growth. Someone once said, you don't fear the unknown. You fear losing the known. That explains everything. People stay in jobs they hate, in routines that drain them, in comfort zones that aren't even comfortable. Because fear convinces them that staying the same is safer. But the moment you take even the smallest step, fear shrinks. Fear has one mission: keep you exactly where you are. Not because it hates you, but because it doesn't know who you could become if you moved. Fear is an outdated GPS. It keeps saying, return to the safe route. Even when that route leads nowhere, most people don't fail because they tried. They fail because they never tried. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect confidence. But confidence isn't something you get first. Confidence is something you earn by doing the thing you're scared of. Confidence comes after action. I once met a young woman who wanted to post her photography online. She had talent. Real talent, but she didn't post. People might not like it, she said. I told her, people don't even like posts from their own friends. They scroll past everything. Nobody is waiting to judge you. She laughed, but she still didn't post. 6 months later, another girl started posting the same kind of content. Not better. Not special. Not genius. Just consistent. And today, she's building a career. While the first girl, she still has the same pictures, the same excuses, and the same fear. Fear didn't just cost her likes, it cost her progress. Let's talk about something everyone understands. Dreams expire when you wait too long. Not because the dream gets old, but because you lose the energy you once had for it. How many people say, one day I'll write a book. One day I'll start a business. One day I'll build my idea. And one day becomes 5 years. And that idea dies quietly in their notes app, never seeing the light of day. Here's the twist. It's not that they didn't have time. It's that fear convinced them to wait. And while they waited, life kept moving. Let me give you a global example. Airbnb. When the founders pitched their idea, people laughed. Strangers will never stay in someone else's home. If fear had won, the travel industry would look completely different today. A multi-billion-dollar idea gone before it started. Another one. People said no one will pay for music streaming. Imagine if the founders listened. Half the world uses a service that almost didn't exist because fear-based opinions almost killed it. What does this teach you? Fear feels big when your vision is small. But when your vision grows, fear becomes tiny. You're not scared because you're weak. You're scared because you haven't met the strongest version of yourself yet. And the only way to meet that version is to do the one thing fear hates. Take action. Even when you're scared, think about every innovation you use today, GPT. TikTok, Tesla, Spotify. None of these ideas were safe. People called them stupid, unrealistic, impossible. If fear had won, half of the world's progress would not exist. But fear doesn't just show up in big moments. It shows up in small ones. Ordering food online, you scroll the menu for 10 minutes while fear whispers. What if the order is wrong? What if it's too spicy? What if it arrives late? And suddenly, you're eating instant noodles because fear tried to protect you from a spicy disaster. Even billionaires deal with fear. Elon Musk admitted he was terrified in the early days of SpaceX. He almost quit. But he didn't because he refused to let fear run his life while the universe was waiting for him to try. Fear is dramatic. It takes small problems and turns them into life or death scenarios. It creates entire movies in your mind, full HD, disasters that never actually happen. And here's the truth. The bigger your dream, the crazier fear becomes. It doesn't just whisper. It starts screaming. It writes scripts. It creates imaginary tragedies. You know what stops it? A simple, stubborn decision. I don't care what could go wrong. I'm doing it anyway. Fear hates movement. Fear hates momentum. Fear collapses the moment you take action. Even ordinary people prove this every day. The friend who applied for their dream job despite feeling unqualified. The student who spoke in class for the first time. The person who finally posted their artwork online. All of them stepped over imaginary walls fear built in their minds. Fear will always exist. It's sneaky. It's loud. It's ridiculous. But the only thing it cannot survive is your decision to move. So ask yourself, if strangers could change the world with ideas people mocked, why can't you change your life with the idea you keep doubting? Let's be honest. Fear has been running your life quietly for years. In your mind, in your thoughts, in your choices, and you didn't even notice. But here's the truth. Fear only wins when you listen to it. Look at the people you admire, not just celebrities, but everyday people around you. They were scared too. They just didn't let fear make the decisions. The young man who got a job he wasn't ready for. The woman who posted her first design and got her first client. The student who raised their hand and inspired someone else to do the same. Life rewards courage, not comfort. And here's the funniest part. Most of the things you fear are not even real. Most people you worry about judging you are too busy judging themselves. The thing holding you back is invisible, harmless, and usually 100% wrong. So here's your challenge. Today, right now, do one thing your fear doesn't want you to do. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big. Just start. Because every time you move through fear, you grow stronger. Every time you try, even if you fail, you win experience. Every step you take, fear shrinks and confidence grows. Let me leave you with this. Your future isn't waiting for you to feel ready. Your future is waiting for you to stop listening to fear. So take the step. Send the message. Post the video. Pitch the idea. Speak up. Take the risk, because the only thing worse than fear is waking up. One day realizing you let it control your whole life. The world doesn't reward perfection. The world rewards courage. And you were born to rise. Your life is bigger than your fear. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends.